what's going on, everyone? I forgot to update the video description on the Facebook stream. Doing that now. Got the live button. Alright, we should be good to go. You guys let me know how the stream health is. Boom, it looks like we're live everywhere. Alright, so tonight's title of the stream is pretty dramatic. I said markets are bubbling, alright? And why do I say that? Just today I spotted a classic hyperwave formation on the NASDAQ, right on the QQQ. And I did not come up with the hyperwave concept. This was discovered, published on, and popularized by Tyler Jenks, who recently passed away just about a year ago. All right, we lost Tyler a year ago. So the all-out expert on hyperwaves, what's up, Kevin? Is he passed away, so we really can't consult him. I'll reach out to his crew, people that worked with him, like Leah Wald. I'll reach out to her. I actually tagged her on Twitter today to see what she says. She hasn't responded, but I'll send her an email. You see her opinion. But what a hyperwave is, it's your classic bubble, right? And what Tyler did is he broke it up into 1, 2, 3, 4 phases that go up, right? 4 is your terminal super extended, 5's corrective, 6 is corrective, 7's down. Now, based on recent history, right, the reason this was popularized, this popped up, 2 years ago, was because of Bitcoin, right? It did a classic bubble, and we had a 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And here, if you were to fib the swing high to swing low, 18.6 was a target on BTC. So looking at the QQQ, right, the NASDAQ, it is showing the exact same structure, right? We've got a lateral 1, which is a nothing, sideways, big range, and we had a 2, 3, and theoretically, if this is wave 4, the hyperwave, which it's looking like it, we can expect some of these upwards targets, right? One of those is going to be 285, 387, 450. You guys can see them on my screen. I'm not going to highlight every single one of them, but we're just going to pay attention to like the next one, right? Because if you did the same thing on BTC and basically just chased the next fib for a target, you would have done pretty well. Now, I'm not just streaming to say, hey, NASDAQ looks like it's bubbling. This is going to have a big impact on all asset classes. And if you guys have been following us for a while, back in December, I had published the correlation with risk-on cycles, right? And what I did is I pulled the correlations, the fib correlations between the S&P and Bitcoin, highlighting what happens after retests and whenever the S&P climbs from one fib level to the next, how Bitcoin reacts, right? I have a link to this. I think it's the first link in the video description. If you guys need to read it, check it out. It is, yeah, it's the first link, the greed cycles. So, what's going to be the real life catalyst? Well, I mean, back in December, I was looking for a correction. Where is this? Is BTC awaiting the SPY retest? Is a cryptocurrency forever doomed? Will history repeat itself? Are we headed into previously uncharted outer space of speculative uncertainty, right? In this paper, I had mentioned that the S&P was lacking a fib retracement, right? A fib retest back here, and we did get that. So the S&P is now back above the 2.618, right? It's back above this level. We can pull up that chart. But the fact the QQQ is popping, right, puts investors in a risk-on scenario. And what risk on scenarios do is they encourage the heavy aggressive buying, those bull runs we witnessed 2016, 2017. You know, during the time Bitcoin was climbing, the S&P was climbing, so was the QQQ, right? So I think the next catalyst is going to be this bubble. I mean, there's no way that these indices are going to get exciting and climb, and Bitcoin's not going to see any risk on. And it's just counterintuitive, right? When risk is on, everything goes up. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I encourage you to read this paper that I published back in December, right? I was expecting a retest, and I didn't think COVID would do it, but COVID did it. Literally, like, you know, BTC do something. Kind of like a meme. So now that we have a confirmation, right, that markets are bubbling, I do think this is gonna put out, you know, it start a new bull market in BTC. Is it gonna come right away? Is it gonna come today, tomorrow, the next day? You know, we're at that resistance. If we start climbing now, then we could be off to the races. This is the BLX chart, so it's not going to be live in real time. Let's go to the Coinbase chart. And technically speaking, right, the Bitcoin weekly, I'm just going to add my watermark here. So you guys can see the time frame and the asset. All right, this thing, you know, it's above that descending broadening wedge on the weekly, right? We do know this is a bullish formation. Based on my last couple of streams, actually, whenever we turn down here, you know, we target one was 8K, which was a 61.8, which is the fib that's in red. Our target 2 was 10K, which is right here. The next 61.8 that is red. You know, speculatively, I do think Bitcoin needs to go up and test 12.3. Right? Is it going to come now? I'd rather see it sooner than later, right? For you guys that okay, I'm gonna read your question. But those indices are based on companies that have cash flow. We know where they get their value. But what's going to send BTC? There isn't like proof of work, you know? Well, if you're talking about cash flow, look at, first of all, it's actually a really good question, right? Because you're challenging my logic for an upwards move from a fundamental standpoint. Let's take a look at like gold, right? Why has gold climbed 35% since I published on it a year ago, a year and 2 months ago? Right? Why did this happen? Did this already price in inflation that we're seeing from all the money that was printed by the Fed? Not just the US Fed, but global Fed, right? Every nation has printed money to prop up its society for COVID. The Fed injected trillions of dollars. Now, every time we get this kind of printing of money, right, we're going to see inflation on that long term. So, one thing that's going to value Bitcoin is it's a non-inflationary asset, right? It's actually a deflationary asset. So, is it going to react like gold did? You know, still high above that range? I would say likely so. But what fueled this? What fueled the 2016 bull run? Right? Was this Bitcoin earnings going up? Was this Bitcoin growth? Right? It's strictly a risk-on type of situation where investors are willing to bet. It's speculation. Um, that might not be a good enough answer for you, but what made Bitcoin go up from 4K to 12 last year, right? 13,000. You know, it wasn't earnings. Um, what made it go down to 36, 38, and then go back up to 10K? It wasn't earnings. So thinking why an asset's going to go up versus reading the chart, right, are two different things. And we identified this as liquidity grab. I was straight up aiming for 61.8, next 61.8, and then 12.3, possibly 16.5, and so forth. Gold, I mean, we can sit here and talk about gold and think it's tangible or not. That's not what I'm not streaming to give you my opinion on gold or what's going to move BTC, other than what I think is going to move it, which is currently like a response scenario, right? All right. Let's go. So the daily, if I was just to remove all our going tools, right? And this looks like it's a bull flag. If you were to like discount the descending broadening wedge, right? So this is definitely a bit of a bull flag. Prices above on the weekly. Daily chart is showing something that it's a very similar fractal to what I had highlighted. You guys in VIP saw this analysis over and over again. I posted this several times in my notes. Let's do a 4 hour, and this was back at 2019, right? I think it was this up move. Right, aggressive pennant, and price broke up, and then it came down and it retested a few times, and then it took off once again, right? So, you know, this kind of setup really reminds me of what we're looking at today. Let's go like a 240. The pennant's not as aggressive, right? I mean, if we're gonna go off wicks, then yes, it is. So, you know, can we expect more friction down here? I'd say so. Fib-wise, I posted this a few days ago. Okay, expect 93.33 to hold, just based on that previous fractal, right? You know, 61.8 held. It held pretty well, and then we saw the continuation. So, hopefully, we're setting up for something of that magnitude, right? I mean, that's what I'm eyeing. That's what I'd like to see. What do you mean there's nothing backing it? I think there's anything backing Bitcoin, then why are you even in the space? Why are you even trading it? Alright, hopping back into the QQQ, you know, is that going to be our economic indicator for, you know, I'm not going to call it growth, right? I think this is a highly speculative type of bubble, and I think we're definitely starting to enter that phase 4. And this should really fuel a lot of moves. Like today, we got in a Roku. Right up market open using options, and we're already up like 100% on those calls. If you look at like Tesla, all the stocks that were raging before COVID, they're back up there, right? They're back up there. Did earnings go up on these stocks? What's going on, Marshall? No, I just put them in timeout. Hit for 300 seconds. Yeah, I see a mega hyperwave. right? So at this point, you know, Tesla's going up to 11.4, right? And there's nothing we can do to stop it, unless there's some kind of major liquidity play for a double top. But looking at the Q, right, it's already up. When indices lead, it's either going to create breadth or stocks are going to catch up. And we saw this happen back in December, December 2019, January, February 2019, where indices would get bought up in after hours and then stocks would moon the next day, right? There's definitely a hyperwave here. Loco, look at this. If you think I'm wrong about the hyperwave, tell me why. You guys on Facebook, you're awfully quiet. Yeah, so everybody that was like in total fear, I'm not gonna name them by name, but a lot of prominent figures in the space were saying, oh, it's gonna be a global financial crisis, short everything, it's going to zero. You know, that's one way to look at the market. We took it as in, you know, we took the big drop as a liquidity grab. We traded as a liquidity grab and proved to be a liquidity grab, right? You don't usually get a full rebound. If you're going to get some kind of crash, right, and go in a recession type thing, you're going to see a rejection at the 621.8, right? And just to highlight that, you know, it's going to look something like this. 61.8 fib is my red one, right? You can see the QQQ just could not really sustain above it, and then it dumped, right? So usually when we see a 61.8 retrace not holding, that's when we're going to get the type of longer correction. But we're way above it. We're above the 1.0, right? We're going up. So realistically, you know, my targets, I would go off these recent set of fibs, right? So 257, 260, 282, likely 284. The more valid the hyperwave, the more likely we are going to ring those bigger targets. What's up, Trade Safari, Delilah, and hey, what's up? Yeah, you're welcome, number 8. I had to. One of our analysts was like, hey, does the QQQ look like Bitcoin when it was bubbling? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And this was like late last night, and I just couldn't see what he was talking about until he posted his chart. And then I woke up today and I was like, wait a minute. I took my chart off log, right? If you put it on log, you're not going to be able to see the wave. And once I put it back on arithmetic, I was like, okay, this is it. I see the hyperwave. So, yeah, I think we're headed up. I think we're bubbling. And if my risk on correlation paper holds its weight, then we should see BTC really start climbing again. And what happens in these scenarios, if people get stuck on the sideline, they end up buying higher, right? And it kind of, just like what we saw in February, in January, in December, people like buying Tesla. Where's Tesla, right? You know, people would wake up and then Tesla would be at 423, and 2 days later it's at 606, and 2 days later it's at 800, right? I mean, this is purely a bubble. This is from December, from 308 to 949. It 3x'd in value in 3 months. So I think we're going to re-enter that bubble phase. And if you're going to position yourself to take advantage of it, then good for you. That's what we're doing, right? That's what we started doing. And we're doing that across all asset classes, right? I'm not, if I see a risk on scenario, No. So, okay. That's a really good question, Loco. Um, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion on Bitcoin now. You know, I haven't seen any Tyler content in recent history, right? Since he passed, and I think he had a thing where, you know, if it goes past phase 2 or phase 3, then expect certain things or the chart to act a certain way. That's our phase 2 line. He was like, oh, it's going back down to 1,000. And he passed away before the actual shoot up. I think it was like around 8K. He missed the 13K top. So I don't quite think Bitcoin's going to, come back down. I think this is plenty. I think it's out of the hyperwave phase. And yeah, as of now, I'm trading it just based on formations. The current structure is that descending broadening wedge, and asset classes in general, right? Looking at the QQQ being in a hyperwave state, I think it's going to positively influence price to go back up. Santa Fe, I know I didn't take offense. You just overtook the chat, and I had to put you in timeout for a bit. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. I just had to. I thought I answered your questions, and I had no further comment. It's not about feelings. It's about objectivity, right? Are we getting anywhere? Or are we asking the same question? Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of him. Socrates, I was not a big fan of him. Hoping to read up on some material you might be able to recommend. So Han, they put out their own book. Type up, there's a book on Hyperwave. If you want to pick it up, I think it's on Amazon. You can Kindle it. I don't know how much it is, or you can just get on YouTube and watch a lot of Tyler Jenks videos. Their channel is called Hyperwave. All right, let's hop on. Let's just throw on Phantom. Let's see what BTC is doing in real time. Let's use some of the indicators. Some of our sweet. The Phantom 15, I think Phantom 30 have been in charge, right? Just completely taking control of the chart. We had a breakdown at 94. Phantom sent it back up to the sell zone at 98.70. And we saw this sharp drop down, right? We'd seen a little rally this evening, and then it got rejected. I still don't think it's terminal, right? I don't see a 61.8 retracement that would make me want to short it, right? We haven't gone up that far yet. I don't want to short. I'm not going to short or head short before 99. So I think these small moves, they're just trying to trap more shorts below to make it more of an attractive squeeze to go up. Other than, that major 61.8 at 10,800 or 10,080, sorry, 1080. I'm not seeing anything else that would prompt me to net short for a down move. I do think, however, if we break above it, we get above 10.6, it's going to be straight sent to 12,000. Yeah, Phantom 15. Pretty awesome. Even the 30. Well, the midlines on the 30 look good. Let's remove all my drawings. Are there any harmonics you guys see in Loco? Are you seeing any harmonics on the chart? 240. In the 4-hour phantom midline's holding, right? It came down, touched it. I'd like to see 10.3. I'd like to see 11. I'd like to see 12K, especially with stocks being climbing, right? Being in a risk-on environment. That's what I'd like to see. All right, I have covered what I'd like to cover. It's been about 25 minutes. You guys show me some charts, whether it's stocks, whether it's indices, whether it's crypto. Just don't give me don't throw any single digit altcoins or 2-digit altcoins. Those really piss me off. Bitcoin BC, thank you. Good morning. I'm glad you woke up for this stream. It's a pretty significant one. Some of my favorite plays right now is, I did say the stock market was bubbling. I have 205 calls on Microsoft, right? I think we're going to 205. Go on little phantom. Picks it up right there. So I'm looking for a move up to here. We did get in a Roku today, and we've got 125 and 150 as our target. Could go to 183, right? Uber is another play. I'm looking for $50 on Uber. Alright, looking at SBCE, Virgin Galactic Holdings. Okay, what's problematic about this chart, what's good about this chart is A, it hasn't retraced back to the highs of 2020, right? I would be targeting $29. Thanks, Loco. I'd be targeting $29 on Virgin. Santa Fe, I think it was you that brought up the MITT chart. I think it was you. I was going through some old chart setups last night, and I would share this with the team, but I didn't post it in the signals. I bought $10 calls that are August, right? And they're already up 50%, right? It just had a big rager. So, this going back to space, right? To Virgin Galactic, it's a lagging chart, right? So targeting something like a 61.8 would be the first place we want to see this go up to. Just like buying BTC at the 4K mark, targeting 8K and then 10K. Was that your chart? Was that your chart, MITT? I'm trying to show you some love, man. Going over EOS. I don't know. I don't trust a lot of these alts on the BTC pair. These alts they're not loyal, right? What's gonna make EOS outperform BTC? Outperform either? It's definitely in a possible accumulation zone. I just don't think it's bottom. Let's look at EOS USD. The thing about these alts, if they're not outperforming BTC or Ether, I don't even understand why people sit in them. could be some kind of Wyckoff like accumulation here, but I'm not seeing it on the BTC chart. So I use regular candles on Phantom. I skipped Hertz. Let me go over Hertz and I'll go over Qtum. Yeah, look at that. That looks like it's at 61.8. To me, it looks like it is 61.8. No, not even. Well, yeah. Hertz is going to 13 bucks. I don't know if I'm not sure what happened post-COVID, how well they survived it. But, okay, this chart has been in a downtrend, right? So, I don't know what's going to make Hertz a strong contender, right? I don't know if they're doing anything different now. I don't know anything about them. This chart did do a liquidity grab. Is it gonna rise? With a rising tide lifts all boats? You know, I'm sure it will, but things like Roku, things like Beyond, things like Tesla that already had momentum, right? Those are the assets that somebody was going to want to diversify in. And that's kind of why we're trading them. So it could go up to 13. It just doesn't seem like the most momentous. Looking at this versus looking at something like Tesla, right? Look at these weekly charts, right? Polar opposites. Eduardo, I'm glad you think so. What's your down target on BTC? Alright, Qtum. If BTC does come down, right, you better find yourself a long. Don't think you're going to short it to zero. I mean, is that a little micro bull flag? Maybe, right? Maybe on the daily it's doing something small. It could start turning. Right, it could start turning, you know. What are you looking for? 24.18? Right, this would be my initial exit point. If I was to try to take this flag trade or like move up to here. It looks better than EOS on the BTC pair, that's for sure. I don't use Renko charts. Phantom is exclusive. I mean, Phantom's for Phantom subscribers, right? If you want to use it, you can sign up for a free trial, and if you like it, you can subscribe to it and use it, if that's what you mean. Yes, and we built Phantom. AT&T bought Salesforce, good for them. NKLA, no, we want to stay here. NKLA. Holy smokes. Wait, is this not a bubble? What is this? See what I'm talking about when I said markets are bubbling? I don't follow whale alerts, I just follow charts. Sorry to like not be able to participate or answer that how you'd like me to, but I don't really check whale alerts. Yeah, I think this is probably gonna run up to 113, 118, and so forth. Yeah, do not forget to smash the like button, guys. Um, dude, NKLA's is this looks awesome, right? I mean, I wish I got in on the pullback, right? What's likely happening is, yeah, these fibs are in play. The smaller fibs, so like 118, 113, 118 are likely gonna happen. I'm gonna set alerts, man. This is something I'd probably want to buy calls on a dip. If it comes back down to 74, I'm probably gonna buy like 113 calls. I don't like chasing, I like buying them at a discount. Eduardo, I still don't know what your down target for Bitcoin is, man. Drop a chart in the comments, I'll share it with everyone. Eduardo's on Facebook. Alright guys, give me some more charts. We're not done. Alright, I'm gonna go over let's go over Ether. Alright. I still think we're going to 260. I think there are two targets at 260 now. Right, so that would be my next swing. Look at that. So this next 61.8 is at 260. I'm not even going to drop the price label. I'm just going to circle it, right? And then the range extension from the current range. Guess where that is? Right? 261. So do you think we're going to go up to that 260 zone? It's right here. Beyond target. Thank you. Good chart. Look at that. It's like a even an atom, not even an atom and Eve. Beyond's gonna get ugly in a good way. I'd be patient, right? I'd be patient here, but then 172, 190. Where's the 61.8, the big one? Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right there. All right, so coming from its all-time high to its all-time, not all-time low, to its December low, 165. You guys know how I like to always target that red line on the way up as the first target, right? So T1's 165. You want to see how it reacts there, because if it keeps going, like it pushes past 97, if it pushes past 197, it's going to 290, right? We are in a bubble. No, crypto coin trader, they don't like my streams. They even delete my posts. They delete my charts. It's really cute. TBLT. Man, that's an ugly chart. Penny stocks. They don't look so tough right now. I mean, I'm sure it could bounce, right? I mean, it does look very much falling wedge-like, right? But What do they say about momentum? She's a cruel mistress, right? Momentum is your friend. There's definitely a liquidity grab. I don't know how many. This looks like a bunch of reverse splits. Sell off, reverse split, sell off, reverse split, sell off. So, yeah. It does look like it's doing a reversal type setup. There is a gap above. It could break out. I mean, alright, I'm not saying it is or it will. I like trading options. I can't see myself buying $3.30 calls on this anytime soon, right? But I mean, that would be like my first target if I was to trade this wedge. I'm taking requests from Facebook. I'll hop back on you guys on YouTube. Guys, if I'm covering your coin, smash that like button. I have a feeling James likes to trade some of these sub $5 stocks, which I really don't do anymore. What the fuck's going on? There we go. You know, we're looking for like here. It's holding up. It's holding above 195. I don't have my fib levels highlighted or visible. I just have the price that correlates to that, right? So if you're looking for 313, maybe 431. But there's a reason I don't trade the like cheaper stocks anymore, right? Yeah. All right, APHA. Where's my water? The last time this made an all-time high was 2017, right? 2018. It's looking momentous. Going off January highs. It's above the 61.8 right at this point. I'd look for, you know, if we stay in this bubble, I'd look for 713. All right, just a little up wave. Past previous high. Once you're above the 61.8, you know, it's safe to assume that, just like what I showed you on the QQQ, right? Once you get that weekly closes above the 61.8 on these bearish retracements and we're closing above, you should expect the bullish continuation, right? If not, and we come back down below the 61, that's when things get really ugly. Amazon. Man, Amazon's like the king. Holy crap, it's at 2,500. Amazon's gonna be the next Bitcoin, guys. This looks good. We're gonna see a range extension off here. We're at 25. Amazon could run at 3,000, 32.51. It probably is gonna go to 32.51, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Alright, Safari, I am not the Forex trader, but I will go over that chart and I'll probably make that, or I'll take that and then AAL and we'll wrap it up. So you wanted USD, BRL as a Brazilian real. That's like a nice cup and handle, rounding. That didn't even hit target. What's the GXY doing? It's coming down. And I think if I would encounter trade here, I would wait for like 4.5, 4.57. Let's see what Phantom's doing. Way above Phantom. So we do know that Forex really likes harmonics, right? And here we're seeing a 0.080. It's coming down to take out that stop. It's at 4.57. Look for a small reversal here. Look for some type of reversal set up at 4.7 to 4.5. All right, to counter trade it back up. All right, I'm taking AAL for the last request. American Airlines. They'd also been in decline, right? And it rejected at the 61.8. So for now, let's call 2233 a local top. Right? I think services, and I'd bet more on products, right? Especially like in-person services versus like virtual services, like streaming, you know, those types of industries that really picked up a lot of momentum, and people started using them throughout COVID, like food delivery stuff, right? A lot of these new trends that we're seeing, things like Shopify, that don't require a lot of human interaction. Because what happened throughout COVID is we developed new habits, right? I never used Uber Eats before COVID. Now I'm ordering Uber Eats, and I can just go drive somewhere and pick up my own damn food. Let's go AXTI, right? So the reason I'm saying that is looking at airline stock, right? Versus look at like Boeing. Right? When American Airlines was like ranging, or slowly climbing, going from, let's go here from the break, 133. So AA made 58%, right? While Boeing made 223. So I wouldn't quite bet on the service side. I would bet on like the supply side, product, service, innovation, maintenance, type of things. I don't know how long airlines can, or an airplane can sit in idle and like not be used, and what parts need to be replaced, how so often, right? But I mean, looking at this, still got a way to go. 230 to 310, right? That's a hell of a climb. And they also, Boeing services a lot of military contracts too. So I'd look more in, you know, like instead of airlines, look at like manufacturers, support, parts for airlines, the tangibles, the real things. All right, AXTI. This looks like an altcoin chart. It really does. November 20, last swing high, November 2017. You know, this weekly looks interesting. I don't even know what volume's like on some of these, right? And that's another thing. Got plenty of volume. I think 735 would be. I don't know anything about this stock. What do you think? Like, we got past 617 and 735's the next swing, and nope, let's do that. Versus, let's just do a retracement. Bam, look at that confluence. 735 twice. Take that. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smash that like button. Make sure you drop in our Discord. Check out what I wrote about the correlation between risk-on cycles, the S&P and BTC. Yes, I didn't say the S&P was in a hyperwave, but the QQQ is. And if it does keep going, it does get going, and if we do bubble, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to dump. I'm expecting Bitcoin to really take charge and make a big move. Same for Ether. Repeat of 2017 is likely in the books, especially if the QQQ is setting up for what I think it's setting up to do. That about wraps it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hop into Discord. You can see me there. Connect with the team. Yeah. Trade safe. Use